Now, as you can see, this is a very noisy Volkswagen GTI. We'll start it up. You can easily hear the noise it's making. The GTI engines have a tendency of carboning up, and you get a lot of engine noise as the carbon builds up. Things aren't lubricated right. You hear rattling. A lot of times they start burning oil, and here's why. In order for engines to get better gas mileage, all cars use lower tension piston rings these days. We'd rebuild engines, you had to get a piston. You had to clamp it down, put it on top of the block, and then hammer it in with wood and a hammer. Because it's so tight, the pistons were tight. They had very high tension rings, so they were tight and they sealed good. But of course, more friction, worse gas mileage. So they all have low tension springs. You can push those in with your bare hand. If you ever rebuild one of those, you can grab the rings with your fingers. You can push the whole thing in. You don't need tools. You don't need a hammer and wood. That's less pressure. They don't seal as well. And as they age, if oil gets clogged in there, they'll stick inside the pistons. The rings won't come out because they don't have much tension. You'll burn a lot of oil. Now, this may sound crazy. They spent over $1 million and 8 years figuring out how to get rid of carbon inside the engine. They say the carbon inside the engine with the oil is different than the carbon that's made by burning gasoline. This pours right into your engine oil. That baby's on there tight. Either that or I'm getting old. Pour the engine oil. We're gonna see if it really works. A whole can. And now we're gonna run it at a fast idle for about 15 minutes. We'll idle at about 2,000 RPMs for about 15 minutes. Now I've read about phenomenal results, but I might as well be from Missouri, because I say show me. This is gonna test this system out good. And as usual, nobody's paying me for this. This is just a test. If it doesn't work, I'll show you. The engine will be just as noisy as it was before. Maybe it'll be even noisier. I don't know. We're going to run it for 15 minutes. Then, like they say on a can, change the oil and filter because all the carbon's going to be in the oil and in the filter. Put in new oil. We'll see what it sounds like. And interestingly enough, even though I put in the engine oil, I can smell it coming out of the tailpipe. That shows the engine and the exhaust, they're not perfectly sealed. The engine oil should not be coming out fumes of the exhaust. That shows piston rings and stuff are worn. We're going to see if this clears some of it up. I do have to say, over the years, I've seen a lot of snake oil products, but after testing out their fuel additive, I was rather impressed by that. The same guys in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, I've known Bernie Thompson quite some time at Automotive Test Solutions. As far as I'm concerned, the guy's almost as crazy as me, but his partner is a computer whiz. Between the testing and him coming up with ideas, I can't wait to see what this oil cleaner does, especially on a Volkswagen. Obviously, rings are worn because you can smell the stuff burning out the back. You still gotta wait 15 minutes though at a fast idle. But I do have to say, I asked Bernie, I said, Bernie, how come only 15 minutes? He says, doesn't take forever, but in that short period of time, the engine starts idling faster. I got it set with the throttle holder. I had it at 2,000. It went up to 4,000. That shows me that it's cleaning something because it's freer moving now. For the same throttle, it went up. I had to set it back to 2,000. I can hear it going up a little higher now too. I don't know. I think the cleaner's doing something. But as for sound, is it going to make the engine quieter because of that? Let's find out. Now shut the engine off. We're going to change the oil, but this is really hot, so get a fan. Cool it off 15-20 minutes so you don't burn yourself when you're changing the oil. So it's cooling off, we jack the car up we go. And this is a really low car, so we need a jack stand. So get our oil pan and crawl under. So we get a 19mm socket, and out comes the old oil. Germans really put long screws in these things. There we go, there's the old dirty oil. And it is dirty. As you can see in my hand, that's dirty oil. All the carbon and stuff is getting in this oil that we're changing out. Drained out yard's gonna get a couple of drips. We got a new gasket on here. We'll put that back on. And of course, we have to change the oil filter. It's one of these stupid crap box plastic ones with the paper filter inside. You need a big socket for this. Okay, now we can do it by hand. I really hate these ones that have paper inside. They're such a pain in the butt. But that's the Germans for you. Plastic junk. There we go. Here's the new filter and gasket. So we put the new filter and gasket in. Tighten it up. First you tighten it by hand. Then you get the wrench. Because you want it snug so it doesn't come loose and leak. There we go. And a little tight. That's it. Look at that filthy black oil. Seems to got a lot of carbon out. Now we'll fill it up with oil. In this case, it holds 4.9 quarts of 5W30. So in it goes. Nice clean oil. Then we'll put the top back on. Move the jack stand and let it down. Jack out of the way. Now comes the moment of truth. They're going to start it up. On your mark. Get set. Go! So let's compare that to the original sound. Now yes, this is a Volkswagen GTI with well over 100,000 miles on it. It's gonna make noise. It's been abused in the past. Guys drive them hard, and they're Volkswagens. They get loud as they age. I'd never buy one personally. That's my choice. I fix cars. I don't like a noisy car. I like nice quiet Toyotas. If you compare that last noise after the cleaning to the first real noisy one, you can definitely hear there's less mechanical noise. There's less wear going on. 2014 GMC Terrain. He's had it for a couple of years, and he's having a bunch of code problems with it, running too lean and stuff. So we're going to go through the whole thing and see, is this something you should buy? He bought it with like 120,000 miles on it. It's got like 140-something thousand now. Now, to begin with, these are made from 2010 to the present, and they're pretty much the same as the Equinox. GMC has the Terrains. Now, generally, GM sells between 80,000 and 100,000 of these every year. Last year, they sold 82,100. Now, when you get a bigger vehicle like this all-wheel drive, they're going to use up gas. This particular one being all-wheel drive, it gets 19 miles a gallon in the city, and it's getting about 26 miles a gallon on the highway. Well, you know, they're big vehicles. They're going to use gasoline. That's just how it goes. Now, under the hood, this particular one's got a V6 with direct injection, puts out 301 horsepower, and a 6-speed automatic transmission. And as such, being a V6 engine in a heavy vehicle, they do have a limited lifespan. This one's got like 146,000 miles on it, and it's starting to show its age. It's getting a bunch of coats. So what the owner wants me to do is to go through the whole thing and tell him what kind of a lifespan is he going to get out of it, because he's making payments on it. That's the problem when you can only afford a certain amount, is that you're often going to overpay for a vehicle. The payments are going to be relatively high, yet the vehicle may be lumbering towards its end state of either the tranny or the engine will break, and it's more money than it's worth to fix the vehicle. Now you can see the headlights are fading away. Well, that's minor stuff. What we're worried about is the engine and the tranny. So, at least it's still got a key. I'll give him that. Sounds okay. But he did mention that when he starts it up cold, sometimes it hesitates a little while. And he said, as you can see here, he's got PO 172 and 175 for fuel system rich, even though he just spent a bunch of money at the dealer. They said it would fix his problem by changing just the fuel pressure regulator, and that cost him $509.84. He kind of paid a bit too much for something that simple to change out. But the main thing is it didn't fix his problem. So we're going to look at the data, do a standalone diagnosis of it, read the VIN, that was fast. We can see it, 2014 light truck GMC Terrain, 3.6 liter topology scan. So here it goes. While it's doing it, we'll look around. All right, for an 11-year-old vehicle, other than this is coming apart here, it's got a seat cover on because the seats are kind of worn out, but you can always put seat covers on. They got the seat for the kid. It's got a lot of room in it. You can carry a lot of stuff in these things. Comfy seats. You see, it's got 10 trouble codes. So we're going to start with the BCM. Sunroof, we don't care about that crap. Sunroof, sunroof, sunroof. Turn signal short, the battery. Right rear turn signal is open. Trains know it's working, so I mean, that's not something he really cares about. We'll erase these codes because they're kind of meaningless anyways. We'll check these out. Electronic brake control. Maybe it's got a problem with the ABS. I don't know. We're going to find out. Hey, the brake booster pump motor says it's not running. We'll have to check the brakes, see if they stop okay. If he's having braking problems, he's probably going to have to change that booster pump motor. Because you can see it's still got a vacuum booster on it too. If they work good enough, he'll probably live with that too. We'll erase that and we'll see if it comes back after we road test it. The engine control module, the big one, has codes for fuel trim system, rich on bank 1, rich on bank 2, Engine misfire. EVAP, large leak detected. Fuel level sensor circuit high. Let's look at the engine. It only had one cycle when it misfired, but you can see subtracting 10% fuel. So it is indeed running rich. So what we're going to do is we're going to erase all the codes. You can see they're all erased now. And we're going to put some of Bernie's fuel cleaner and then take it for a drive. 505 CRF. ATS chemical fuel cleaner. Now, unfortunately, my grandson stole all my funnels, so I got this other bottle, and I'll pour Bernie's cleaner into this bottle, and then I'll pour it in the gas tank. I'll have to go buy some more funnels. I'm gonna have to lock them in a cage or something. Look at the masterful pouring. Kind of funny when you think about it, because this little squat bottle fits in this one that's tall and skinny. Now we can put it in the car. But before we do, we might as well check the air filter, see if it's clogged up. That can make it run rich if it clogs the air flowing. And you know, they got some squirrely tool. It's a 25 Torx wrench. Screws aren't good enough. They got to put these stupid torque wrenches on. What a pain in the butt. They got them hidden all over the place, too. What kind of idiots design these things? 4 of them, too. Like what? Somebody got to come here and rip this thing off? Last one. I hope there's enough room to get it off. Who knows? They make these things so poorly. And we'll check it out. That's pretty clean. Not too much stuff comes out. It's not that bad. Now we'll screw the stupid thing back in. You never know. I've seen them clogged up, cause all kinds of problems. But somebody at some point in time has changed this one before. And it's not that bad. That's not causing it to run too rich. So close the hood, take it for a spin for a while, see if it'll clean things up. Start her up. See, it's got more than I thought it had on it. It's got 161,988 miles. Now normally I don't advise people buying these things used with that kind of miles. Generally the engine and the trannies are out, so we'll take it for a good road test, see how it feels, and let the cleaner do its thing. Now, it is old enough, it's still got a regular emergency brake. Push on. Push off, so that's good. It's not the electronic crap. And I want to say it still idles pretty smooth. No problems with that. See how it shifts gears. Not bad. Pretty smooth. Still shifting the gears pretty good. Putting it in manual and low gear because I want the engine to rev higher so the cleaner will work better. Rather than driving 120 miles an hour, I'll just make the engine rev higher by keeping it in a lower gear, and it'll clean things out faster. Pretty good when I manually shift it. I just want to keep it up faster RPM so it'll clean out quicker. You can see we're going at a higher RPM, so it's just like driving at higher speeds for the engine. It'll clean things out faster. A little here, I'll put it down back into first gear. Man, that guy's driving any slower, he'd be going backwards. Woo-wee, well, he's turning at least. So then we can go our way when he goes by. There, we'll put it in second gear and leave it at that. See that way the engine's revving higher? It'll clean things out better. Well, we might as well go to third gear. We'll shift it one more. That's good enough. Then we'll keep it around 3,500 RPM. Ride it around away that way to help clean stuff out. Other than that, it's traveling perfectly smooth. Shift's fine. Don't hear any wheel bearing noise. The rest of the vehicle's in pretty good shape. Kind of sloppy shifts when you do it with the button, but hey, older vehicles, they don't shift all that well. When you do these old things with the manual shift on automatic, when it's just an automatic, it's nice and smooth, but you get a lot of lag in these when you try to shift them manually. It's motoring pretty smoothly down the road. It's fun playing these shifts. That's the downshift, that's the upshift. When you put it in manual, sounds fine, doesn't knock or anything. It's pretty smooth. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's just showing that it's running a little bit rich. Okay, now it's the next day. It's 17 degrees in the morning, cold. He said it had a problem starting cold, and the cleaner's been soaking in the injectors overnight, so let's see how it starts. Well, we'll climb inside, shut the door, see if she starts up. It is cold. Starts right up. It's possible. Drive with care. Hey, it's warning you. Rev it up a little. Hey, so far it's running good. We'll check some of the data. Hey, this Link Scan tool has got some pretty good graphics. It's searching the VIN. Knows it's a 2014 GMC Terrain. We'll do a total system scan. You can see it has no trouble codes now. Rather amazing. Just like an hour drive with Bernie's cleaner. It's no longer showing that it's running rich. Now let's look at the data stream. And you can see here, look at the short tune fuel trim. -3, 1, -4, 0. Before I was doing like minus 22. What happened in this case was the fuel injectors weren't spraying right. If they don't spray right, if they dribble instead of making a nice cone-shaped spray, it won't burn right. You'll have on-burn gas. It'll say that it's running rich because the oxygen sensors will get all that on-burn gasoline flowing through them. You can see, now it's short term, so it'll go up and down as it's adjusting. It's very cold outside. What a difference. Sometimes they're 0, 1% off, 1% there. Sometimes they're at 0. Just goes to show you, Bernie knows what he's doing with that cleaner. It gets the crud off the injectors to clean the system. Now, this is a GDI system, so it's not going to clean the intake valves. The intake valves are only going to be cleaned by physically either taking it apart and cleaning them, or by putting a cleaner inside the intake with an injection system like I have as a mechanic, which would spray the cleaners over the valves. It doesn't get on the valves now. It's going through the fuel injectors, cleaning them, and then cleaning inside the cylinder, but not cleaning the back side of the intake valves because they're closed. Only air goes through them. No fuel goes through them on a GDI system. That's why it's called gasoline direct injection. It sprays it right in. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.